And a little stalk from Amazon dropped off this little USB-free Transcend $10 data card reader. Let's see if it is the Formula One of data card readers. It is cheaper, it's 3 times cheaper than others. This video is quickly going to look at what it is, go through the specs, and I'm going to compare it with my USB 2 cameras, my action cam and my full frame AS7R2, and then we'll do some speed tests and I'll go through a couple of the things I don't like or do like. Hold on tight. Now it does all the cards you would want: the compact flash, the SD, the Sony memory sticks, the micro SD. You don't need the adapter supposedly for the micro SD. It does all the faster modes, the SDHC and the SDXC. It says UHS-1, but I'm hoping it does UHS-3 too, because that's the card you need for the 4K in the likes of my action cam. She's looking a bit rough for wear now. It's got dents and scratches, but it's an action cam. And also what I'm recording this on, the Sony A7R2. For the 4K on that, you also need the U3 cards. So if we see the little cards here, the action cam uses the micro, the A7R2 uses the standard SD card. But it's a little bit faster, this one. I will zoom into this. This is the, I think it's the 666 speed, and the one I have in the camera is the 1000 speed, but they're both U3, so I don't understand the difference there. Now the reason I got this is because Sony don't like to use USB 3 for some reason in their devices, and it's never that big a problem with photos because I just come to my computer, drop it down, I have a USB cable already plugged in, connect it up and drag it across. But now I'm starting to use a lot more 4K video. I try and do all my YouTube videos in 4K now, so I'm thinking like in a couple of years if people are viewing my videos, I'm just ahead of the times, then they'll everyone watching in 4K. So I try and record them in that. The point is, when you drag off a 20 gig file off the camera, it can take forever, absolutely. I'll do a quick test actually. Before before I do that, I'll just run over what this is. So it's basically, can we open it? Quite easily, yeah. This is a bargain. I love it when they got perforated opening like that, because there's nothing worse. I'm trying to get a big knife and cut into these things, and chopping your arm off. So it comes nicely with a USB 3 cable. So what kind of length that is. You can see there it's got the extended 4 pins on the outside, I believe, for the USB 3. So undo that. It's not super long, so I don't know if that's like a foot, is it? Like a third of a metre, 300 and something mil. Not good. Could be longer, but hey, I didn't expect to get one, so it's all good. Now on the device we've got compact flash, which I no longer use anymore. I used to have my D800 use compact flash, really good for digital SLR cameras, but it's very big form factor. We've got the micro SD. Just have a look which way the pins are there before I push it in. And wow. That's not the best fit in the world. It feels a bit crunchy when you plug it in. Oh, there we go. So it's basically a click. I expected most of these when they go in, they're like a spring. So that's not very good. Maybe with a little bit of use. Oh, there we go. It's just a technique. It's got the full size SD, which I don't really have one handy. And then on the back we've got the memory stick. Does anybody use the memory stick stuff? I don't know if the cameras even have it on anymore. I don't know. Memory stick duo. I don't know if my Sony A7R takes memory stick. Maybe. And then the plug-in for the super speed. Like that. Now this is very cheap. When I looked, I think the Lexter one, which is similar, sold similar speeds and whatnot. USB 3 takes all the same ports, and it's got a little case that it clicks into, which I don't know is waterproof or I guess it's dust proof or something, but who cares, because this was $10 I think. So it's just a matter of, yeah, just buy it. A little protective top film on there. It's a pretty unit and it's compact. You know, if I could have found one without the compact flash on smaller, probably would have gone for that. This is the TS-RDF8K. Ooh, and got 5-volt. Draws off the camera, I guess. Off the USB 3, sorry. Made in China by Transcend. Quick look at the paperwork. So yeah, it's supposed to do 130 read speed. Now I was doing a video I'll upload in the future for drives, and the USB hard drives would get like 150. So this looks like it's a little bit slower than you would get from a hard drive, and the write speed is 95 megabytes. Now I'm more worried about read speed because this is mostly plugged into my computer and extracting data as you would expect, so I don't really care about write speed too much. I'm not sure of a scenario where I would use that. I'm selling a crappy product. I mean, they're awesome products, sorry. Transcend are great. They got like MP3 players and video viewers and Apple solution. What? Yeah. Okay, get rid of that. On the back gives us a dimension 67mm by 45 by 15 in case you're into 32 grams. Compatible with USB 2 obviously. Backwards compatibility I should say. 2-year limited warranty. I don't know what the limit is. We can't put it in the swimming pool or anything. And it's compatible with Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, XP and Mac jackets. It'll fit in your Mac raincoat. The latest Windows, Service Pack recommended, Mac OS X10 or later, blah blah blah. Here we go, we've got super small print, which is the benefits of the device. I'll have to zoom into this. Why would they have the benefits specified in the smallest print, almost the smallest print? Next generation super speed USB 3 interface. Does that mean it's better generation of the super speed USB 3 interface, or that the super speed USB 3 interface is the next generation? The initial I would bet. Also compatible with USB 2. I can hardly read this, my eyes are getting so bad. Transfer high resolution images, video recordings to your computer. This is just like stating the obvious for like layman's. I mean, you already know what it's going to do obviously. I mean, is it just limited to video and images? Can I put like the drawings for a intercontinental ballistic missile in there? We won't allow it, no, because it's a drawing. Anyhow, utilize the full potential of your memory cards. Supports SD and CF built-in security functions, which I don't use. Now, LED card insertion, I guess that's a notification that you have the LED card inserted correctly. It doesn't actually, the light emitting diode doesn't insert the card. Okay, data transfer activity indicator as well, which I guess your computer would tell you that it's transferring. And that's the bump on the, yeah, plugging into your computer through the SSD. It's kind of self-explanatory. We didn't even need to read this. I just thought I'd pad this video out a bit. Now what I'll do is a quick video showing you the problem I have. It's not a problem, I'm just impatient. My creative juices are flowing. I don't want to be waiting for things to download. Wait. There we go. So it says I can do 2 hours 13 minutes of 4K recording. That is ridiculous. The battery won't do that. Good thing about this camera, if you are using it in like a local setting, not running around, you can plug it into a battery bank and it will run off that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'll do a little film on this and then we'll plug it in the conventional way, and then I'll plug this in and show you if it installs effortlessly or not, and we'll compare the transfer speeds, and that'll be like dandy. Let's do that. The only reason I'm doing this is because I didn't have anything on there. I always move them off, so I clear the card up by default automatically. So this should give us a reasonable size file. Okay, so now we'll plug the Sony camera into the USB 2 and we'll try a speed test like this. Okay, so now we're in the grid, and this is, for some reason with the Sony products as well, they pop up this PC Home, which is basically like the device. You know, you can configure your device. This is for the action cam, so you can go in there and you can change your Wi-Fi code and you can read the licenses. But this isn't the drive where your stuff is, you know, the actual memory card. This is the built-in memory for the device. Like, we could unplug the memory card and we'd still see this. So this is the memory card comes with a removable. Now on the Sony devices, they hide the video away a little bit, so the DSIM would be the digital camera images, I guess, but the video is under private MP4 root and then clip. So this is the clip we just recorded, and it's the 11th of February 2016. We're getting old. And 3 o'clock ish, and that's a 643 megabyte file. So what I'll do here is I'll change my OBS because I'm locked in on a window somehow, and we'll drag this across and we'll see what we get. So this now, just to reiterate, we're going from the Sony Action Cam plugged into a USB 3 port, but with a USB 2 cable, because the Sony Action Cam is only USB 2. So we'll drag that over, and this should be pretty quick. I mean, it's only 643 meg. Oh, there we go. So yeah, at maximum I've seen almost 24 megabytes per second. But you can imagine this, 6 is a 600 meg. You can imagine this when I have a 20 gig. So it's going to be 40 times longer than this. And then if I do like some of these big long videos, you know, I have many video files. So it's basically, I mean, it's not a huge problem. Go and make a cup of tea, it's generally done, but it can really add up in time. And if you just want to get started editing, it wants to be faster. So I'll try and put a timer on that, and you saw the maximum was like 22, 23 megabytes per second. So now we'll plug the Transcend device in and see how this works. Okay, so now we're going to plug the Transcend in, and I've turned the lights down a bit so you can see the illumination. So my computer didn't say it found anything, so I'm just going to go straight away and plug in the card. So let's just browse over here and see if anything else came up. No, nothing else came up on there. So I'm guessing the devices will pop up when I plug the card in, or I'm hoping. There we go. Oh, straight away. So I'm on Windows 10. I didn't put any drivers on or anything. I just plugged it in to a USB port, USB 3 port, plugged in my SD card, and it just popped up straight up. So we can go private root, clip, exact same file, and we can just drag that over. Okay. So that's not as impressive as I thought it would be. I mean, it's twice as fast, yeah? But it says 100 and... Is that megabits? No, it's megabytes. It specifies megabytes, capital B, per second. Now this is a really fast card. This, if we pull the card out, there is one other thing I can try. I'm going through a hub, which is a US 3 hub. So maybe, let's delete that. Let's try and plug the USB device straight into the back of my computer. So USB 3 hub plugged directly into the back of the computer. We're skipping the hub. Sorry, we got the USB 3 Transcend device plugged directly into the back of the computer into a SS USB 3 port. We're not using the hub anymore, which might have been the problem. So MP4 private, MP4 root. If I can get the directories right. And drag. Ah, so that's a huge difference. So that's maxing the card out. Okay, so that's good. So the good thing is there, we found out through a hub you get a much slower transfer rate. I don't know why that is, because those hubs, I've tested it with a hard drive and I get exactly the same. Maybe it's some reason to do with the Transcend thing, or maybe I need to recheck my hard drives. So that was 90 meg per second. Now that's the limit of the card. So now let's switch to a faster card. Okay, something else I've just discovered here is I thought I would try and plug the card in. Maybe if we eject that one. No, I can't do that because I'm reading it. Okay, so you can't have two cards in consecutively and read them in the Transcend device. So I've pulled out the macro SD, and now I'm on a general SD. But this is my fastest card, so it's a U3, basically 150 megabytes read speed supposedly. So let's try this. Okay, so we'll drag over this 3.4 gig and it'll give us a good idea of the speed, max speed. Oh, so it's still on 90 read speed. So it looks like that card is definitely faster than 90. It's 150 megabytes read. So it looks like the Transcend, even though it quotes 130 megabytes per second, it looks like it's only reading at 90. About 90, which is still 4.5 times faster than what I was getting. So for $10, for me, it's definitely a win. It'll save me a lot of time. And just out of interest, if we wanted to see write speed, I'll drag the other way. So we'll just rename that and then drag it back onto the card. And see what we get there. Now that's pretty good. I'm thinking it's as good both ways because the write speed on the card will be a lot lower. I don't know what the write speed is on that card. So yeah, we're getting 64 megabytes. So if you're interested in this Transcend device for writing onto your cards, then with 150 meg, Lexar, 1000 speed Lexar they call them, and it's posted up to 150 megabytes read, it'll do 65 or 64 megabytes write, which is pretty impressive. It's good. Okay, there, to summarize, we had the Sony action camera plugged straight into a USB 2 basically, and it took 29 seconds and did a 22 megabytes per second. Then I plugged in the Transcend card reader, but I had it through my USB 3 hub. So be very careful if you use a hub. Try the two. I mean, yours may be okay, it might just be my hub, but try the two and make sure, because mine was half the speed, so it was running at 16 seconds for the same data file at 38 megabytes per second. Then the Transcend reader plugged straight into the back into a blue SS port USB 3 on my computer. Did it at almost 90 seconds, 90 megabytes per second at 6.84, and that was also on my fastest card was 150 megabytes per second Lexar 1000 speed U3 Ecta. And for interest, the writing file back, not the same size file, back to the card, it ran at 65 megabytes per second. So I hope this was a useful video. I've gone more into depth than I thought I would have, but I enjoy the performance side just to see exactly what these devices are doing. The quoted specs are always maximum peak on perfect test environments, so it's interesting to just stick it in your computer and see what it'll do. Also, access speed is quite important with these cards because you could have thousands and thousands of files, and I may do another video on access speed. If you look back, look forward into a video I've not uploaded yet, which I've done, you can see with hard drives access speed has a massive effect, with over 10 times as slow with many small files compared to the similar size larger files. So please subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Say what you like, what you might like to see, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.